Andy Danon with us right now, the Israeli ambassador to the United Nations. I don't think any one of those reactions probably surprises you, Ambassador, but now you're hearing of retribution and what comes next. What do you think comes next?
Well, first, I think it's a good day for democracies. The world is a better day today without Nasrallah. You know, we feel similar like the American people felt when Osama bin Laden was killed. He was a notorious terrorist. You know, he killed Americans, Israelis, he bombed embassies, kidnapped citizens, and I think it's a great achievement of the IDF. You know, we are at war with Hezbollah for 11 months, so we are kind of used to it, but we will continue with our lives. Schools will stay open in Israel tomorrow, but we decided to limit mega events, concerts, to see what will happen in the next few days. But I think the message was very clear. We will hunt down those terrorists wherever they are. They cannot hide. Not only we got rid of Nasrallah, but we send a clear message to its friends in Beirut and other capitals in the Middle East.
Now, Iran, as you probably know, Ambassador, said it will respond. Of course, it's still waiting to see what kind of response it would have to taking out a top Hamas leader a little more than 8 weeks ago. But I am curious what you anticipate or what Israeli is preparing, or what Israelis are preparing for.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we are watching very carefully, but because we are in a war for 11 months with Hezbollah, so we can't get used to it. But, you know, it's interesting to see the reaction from Iran. You know, they take responsibility for Hezbollah attacks against Israel. They already use those proxies. So I don't really understand what they had to do with that event. I think today the question is if the Lebanese government will be able to seize the moment and change the linkage that Nasrallah did between Lebanon and Gaza. Basically, Nasrallah said that he will continue to attack Israel, and he started on October 8th to attack Israel, to show sympathy to the massacre of October 7th and to support Hamas. I think today there is an opening for the Lebanese government, to the Lebanese people, to realize that we don't have to go for a full war. We can de-escalate the situation. They have to make sure that Hezbollah is not dragging them to that war.
All right, Ambassador, I know you can't share certain information. I well understand that, but we are learning that the Israelis did not share any of this information about these counterattacks on Hezbollah positions in southern Lebanon, just as it has in some of the other attacks, presumably on top Hamas and Hezbollah officials all over the region, if Israel was behind those. Is that true? Is this Israel doing all of this on its own without checking at the White House, checking in with the White House, sharing with the White House?
Well, I will be general, not about a specific event. I will tell you that, you know, Israel is a sovereign country. We take our own decisions by the government, by the cabinet, and that's how democracy works. We speak with our allies, we consult with them, but at the end of the day, I don't think that our allies actually want us to call and ask for their permission. It doesn't work that way. They know in general that we're going to hunt down the terrorists, the leaders, that we will find them. And I think, you know, we killed another terrorist, Akil, who killed hundreds of Marines, soldiers back in the 80s. And same with Nasrallah, he killed many Americans. So we're fighting the same bad guys. We don't have to coordinate each and every action we take, but in general, we share the same enemies and the same values.
We do know as well, sir, that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has arrived back in Israel, left New York early yesterday on the developments that just, of course, transpired over the last few hours. I am curious about this idea of a widening war, or Israel preparing for a widening war. You've got Houthi rebels that are continuing to attack Israeli and Western positions, U.S. commerce along and outside of that area, the biggest naval presence we've had in the region since the early 1970s. What is next?
First of all, we have no interest for global war. You know, we are a peaceful nation, but we have to make sure that the residents of Israel can live peacefully. And since October 8th, since Hezbollah started to attack our northern communities, 70,000 Israelis had to fled, and you have 70,000 refugees within Israel. So we are committed to allow them to go back to their homes. If we can solve it with diplomacy, that will be a blessing. You know, it's very simple. It will require for Hezbollah to stop targeting Israel and for the Hezbollah terrorists to move north to the Litani River, exactly like Security Council Resolution 1701 decided in 2006. And everybody is saying that's what will happen at the end. The question is whether we're going to have to push back ourselves, or the Lebanese government and international diplomacy will provide them the way or the channel to take the right decision.
Ambassador, thank you very much. I know these have been crazy hours for you, days, weeks, almost a year now since the Hamas-led attack that started this war that continues to this day. Danon, the Israeli ambassador to the United Nations.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.